he terms the executive's lack of respect for the judiciary and underfunding from the National Treasury. The issues at hand have unfolded the troubles embattling the judiciary, with now the blame shifting to the head of state over the predicaments in the third arm of the government. Our prime reporter, Chris Sambu, now narrates a story of a wounded judiciary.
After the nullification of the August 2017 presidential elections, President Uhuru Kenyatta's statement on the judiciary has now broken the Hell's Gate, forcing the judiciary president to come out decrying foul play by the executive. The agitated Kenyatta vowed to sweep clean the judiciary, leaving Kenyans with many questions on the intentions of the head of state.
Si Maraga na watu yake hao wakora hao wamesema ati basi hiyo uchaguzi ipotee. Si ndivyo wamesema?
2 years later, after the nullification of the presidential elections, tears of the sun are now falling down in the eyes of the Chief Justice, the presidential broom now seeming to sweep clean.
I'm told that some CSS and the PSS are bragging that the CJ will or should be removed before the end of this year. Really? Kumbe hii nchi kuna wenyewe. Some of us are serving at their pleasure.
The Jubilee government, under the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta, has been accused of undermining and intimidating the judiciary in a bid to frustrate the judicial expedition system. The Jubilee party members have been televised holding hand in condemning the work of the country's third arm of the government.
After this election, there must be an overhaul of the whole judiciary, kuanzia Supreme Court, mpaka huku mashinani pahali watu wanalia kuna shida mahakamani.
In parliament, to change something, we need to that majority. How come 4 judges can change the destiny of 45 million Kenyans?
On Monday, the Chief Justice David Maraga accused the National Treasury for reduction in the budget allocations, making it difficult to execute its mandate, with Maraga setting faith in the public, losing faith in the judiciary. With the issue raised by the Chief Justice raising a national matter of concern over its position to execute its functions, the argument remains on the budget cut by the National Treasury.
We need to step back from whatever is pushing the various decision makers to starve the judiciary of its funds and give judiciary the funds it deserves.
Even as the judiciary continue to battle a backlog of cases in courts and the Director of Public Prosecution calling for quick intervention, the image of the judiciary predicaments is already visible.
Under Article 173 of the Constitution, there is supposed to be a judiciary fund. And the fund is supposed to take care of the administrative expenses of the judiciary. Now, the judiciary fund has never been established. And that's why you find that the executive still has a way of manipulating, using money to manipulate the independence of the judiciary.
According to constitutional activist Okio Mtata, the judiciary should be funded to the tooth, as lack of funds would lead to the paralyzation of one of the country's crucial arm.
It's time that a judiciary fund is established and autonomy of the judiciary be assured, so that you don't have the Chief Justice stepping outside the Supreme Court to declare that the law has failed. If the president can say the rule of law or the highway, and he puts his foot down and he funds the judiciary to the best level required, he funds the police to the best level required, and he funds other law enforcement agencies to the best level required, and tells them, now, you have the money, go and deliver.
With many of the leaders coming out in support of the judiciary, it is already appearing the wounded judiciary is already wobbling. All eyes are now set on President Uhuru Kenyatta to issue a directive over the reportedly rivalry between the executive and the judiciary. Even as the judiciary continue to decry foul play by the executive in executing its mandate, Kenyans will have to sit back and watch as the rivalry between the two arms of government unfold before their eyes. Chris Sambu, KUTV, from the Supreme Court in Nairobi.